Hey, welcome back, everybody. It's Thursday. It's 4 o'clock. You know what that means? Time for another weekly chat with Pat. This week, joined again, our leader of our ship here, Dave Abels. Dave, I think the last time you were in here, there was snow on the ground.
There was. It was definitely a lot colder. Today, it's pretty hot for Minneapolis, Minnesota. I think it's probably in the 80s. This weekend's going to be in the mid-90s, so definitely unseasonably warm up here in the North Country.
Yeah, no, now here we are into June already.
Yep.
We've had a good 5 months here. Weather's been good. I know freight, we're on top of freight. But today we want to talk about something a little different. For those of you that don't know out there, we started a driver ambassador program. So Dave, go ahead and let's give us a little info on that.
Yeah, so, really, we're in the business of service, right? We serve our internal and external customers. One of our most important customers, which ultimately serve our external customer, is our drivers and our independent contractors. So last year we came up with the concept we would put together an ambassador program, and the ambassadors, there's 8 actual DART ambassadors, and then this particular meeting, our Q2 meeting, I've invited an additional 4 contractors who are guys that I kind of lean on and kind of keep me informed. I talk to these guys on a weekly basis, and they let me know what's going on out in the field. And quite frankly, they have a vested interest in our organization as well, so I've invited them. So this week's meeting, which will be all day tomorrow, tonight we've got a big dinner for everybody. Tomorrow's the meeting. There'll be 12 independent contractors. What we do is we put on a presentation for them about what's going on within the DART network from a freight standpoint, from a safety standpoint, from an operational structural standpoint. I give an overview of the industry, which is just knowledge I've gathered from being on various councils and engaged with the industry as I am. And then we look for their feedback. So it's an interactive thing. Something that's going to be really, really cool about tomorrow is we're going to take each one of these people and we're going to put them with different departments. So as an example, our recruiters. What's very important to every trucking company is our inbound hires, right? Our inbound drivers that are leasing on, our contractors that are leasing on. So we want to make sure that what we're recruiting is what we can actually perform to. Ultimately, at the end of the day, we want our turnover to be low. Turnover's low. I need less inbound drivers to fulfill my end customers' needs. So tomorrow is a role-playing day as well. So I'm going to have my recruiters sit down and work with our existing contractors and company drivers and try to recruit them. This is a back and forth thing. This is going to be a candid thing. So if our recruiters are giving their pitch to one of our independent contractors, our contractors are going to be able to point out to them what's right, what's wrong, what actually happens out on the road. Because at the end of the day, I don't have used car salesmen here. I've got people that are committed to the DART network, committed to their contractor and company driver success, and this is how we're going to vet that out. So I'm really excited about that, Pat. In general, we're going to spend 8 hours tomorrow in different training sessions and different update sessions, and every single one of them has a Q&A session. And one of the things we do a little bit differently than most privately held companies is I'm going to review our financials with our DART ambassadors too. And then ultimately, this group of 8 to 12 people out on the road runs into our other contractors and our other drivers who at times may have an issue or a concern or something that's not working right for them. Our ambassador group's empowered to be able to help them, to be able to coach them, to be able to mentor them. We've got escalation charts that they'll have available to them. We've got driver surveys that they carry on the road with them to give to other drivers and contractors. And of course, there's always the referral component of it.
Absolutely.
Where they can meet with drivers and contractors from other companies and ask them if they'd be willing to talk to DART about becoming part of our team. So it's really just a big day. I think what's really cool about this one too, in addition to the training we're going to do, this morning, the drivers themselves and the contractors that are part of the ambassador team sent me their own PowerPoint. So we've got one we put together every time, and it goes through all the stuff I just mentioned to you, power corridors, what we're doing, those kind of things. They took the time on their own, without my coaching, without anybody on our team's coaching, to put together their PowerPoint about what they think is good at the DART network, what they think is great at the DART network, and then again, what they think we need to improve on. And that's really what's most important to me. I got a pretty good indication of what we do good. I really know what we do great. But sometimes we seem to have blinders on, not we just as the DART network, but in general in the trucking industry, our leadership team doesn't always know what's going on. So they've put together this presentation. They sent it to me today. I went through it very, very professional. What was really cool too, they didn't pigeonhole it, right? So it's a big picture thing. It's not about the day they got left without a load. It's not about the day they were broke down and it took an extra half an hour to get road ready to respond, those type of things. It's about the big picture, what we do well, and what they think we could do even better to attract more drivers and contractors to the company. They did that on their own. I'm very, very proud of this group of individuals, and I look forward to spending the day with them tomorrow. Tonight, you're going with us. We've got a room at Granite City, and we're gonna have dinner. It'll be an interactive meeting tonight, and we're gonna talk back and forth about what we can do to not only make DART network better, but to work on industry things. We've got some independent contractor status things coming up that we want to discuss. We want to discuss this overall shortage and how do we help affect that. And there's a lot of things I think will come good out of this meeting. Then, Pat, I don't know if they've told you this, but your next week's Chat with Pat will be a follow-up. I won't be involved in it, but you're going to be interviewing them so that you get their perspective on how these meetings went, how well their PowerPoint was received. Yep. Because at the end of the day, man, this isn't a dog and pony show. This is the real world, right? So what they say to us means something. And again, like anything in life, I can't fix everything everybody wants. So perhaps some of what they're going to present to us, we won't be able to implement or execute. But we're going to talk about why we can or can't. And we're going to give timelines, and we're going to be very proactive in nature. So love everything that they did. Love everything you guys are doing. It's a great time to be a part of the DART network. We've got plenty of freight. We've got brand new Peterbilts. We got a bunch of new trucks coming in addition to the 100 we just got. So things are going very well. There are going to be some cool updates from our maintenance department too. We've got our road ready hold times down to 1 minute and 9 seconds or less. So you're out there on the road. What's the worst thing to happen? Especially when we talk about 95-degree days and you're sitting out on the road and you're broke down. Less than 60 seconds or 69 seconds, you're going to be on the phone with a live person who's going to cradle to grave you throughout that entire breakdown. And again, our goal is to have no breakdowns with our preventative maintenance programs, but understand when you have one, we listen to you and we take care of you.
One thing about these new ambassadors, I saw the PowerPoint they sent it to me. They didn't just say, here's the problem, fix it.
Right.
They said, here's how we think you can fix it.
Right.
I know these guys very well because I've drove with all of them. I know you've had some very tough conversations with them where they're pretty hard on you. And hats off to you because you were able to listen to them and understand where they're coming from. And that's a huge thing because in so many companies, this is the way we're doing it. We don't care what you think. Where you actually have said, hey, no, I want to know what you guys are thinking. I want to know these problems because we can't fix it if we don't know about it.
Right, and quite frankly, they make sense, right? They're part of the 1,500 plus drivers we have out on the road today. So I might make a trip every year, my executive team makes a trip every year, but these guys are on trips and out in the truck every single week, week after week after week. They experience things that we don't experience on a weekly basis. And to your point, not only did they say, hey, here's some things that you guys should talk about that you do well, here's some things that maybe could use some improvements, but oh, by the way, here's some ideas on how to fix it.
Yep.
So they're not just pointing something out. And I think that's what's really good about this program. And I think the fact that they've embraced it is because they know we're going to listen and they know we're going to do stuff.
And that's been one of the huge advantages to having you come into this company is we finally have somebody that will listen to a driver. If a driver calls with a complaint or a concern, you're willing to listen to them, not just pass them out, well, here, talk to this person or talk to that person. You actually listen and you want to get to this, what is the solution? How can we fix this so it doesn't happen again? Drivers are starting to learn that about you, and I'm sure you get a lot of phone calls that you're like, okay, why are you calling me at 2 a.m?
No,
because I know they do, or they email you.
Yeah. I'll tell you this, so I'm Johnny on the spot on that stuff. So it doesn't matter if it's Sunday night, if they've got a problem and they call me, it'll roll over to my cell phone. But the cool thing is, over the last 18 months of being here, the number of calls has dramatically decreased.
Right.
And why that is because when you call me, I don't pull some magical string to fix it. I get with the right department, and then we work out a long-term sustainable corrective action. So that call I take is really only a one-time call. It's not every week I get a call, every week I get a call. So that's what's good about it, and that's why I'd rather take the call on a Sunday night or a Saturday evening or whenever it is, because that way it doesn't fester.
Yeah.
Right? And again, if somebody can't get through to dispatch on the weekend, I'd like to know. In fact, myself and even our chairman of the board, Don Orrin, at 90 years old, we randomly call into the system here just to make sure that somebody answers the phone in a timely manner. And of course, we all have call reporting. Everybody has all that stuff.
Right, absolutely.
But you know what you don't have is real life experience. Okay, so you can look at a call report, it's 15 pages long, and you can look for data, or you can pick up the phone and call in and see if anybody answers. And we do a really good job at that. Our weekend team is strong, and that's a good thing. We got a lot of seasoned veterans on there. Typically in an organization, your night and your weekend staff is some of your newer people. It's an entry level type of role. In fact, a lot of companies will bring people in at nights and use that as a training ground. We don't do that. Our night people are senior veterans, or at least the leadership on each night team is, and many of them have been in a truck before, so they understand what's going on. So.
And that's what makes a difference, because when you call in on a weekend because you're having a problem, you want to know the person you're talking to is going to be able to help you. Not,
right.
Well, I think you got to talk to this person. I think you got to talk to that person. And that's really the culture that you've changed is, no, everybody needs to take ownership over this. Don't pass the buck. Get the answer if you don't know it. Find out, call the driver back, and let's get that answer so the driver's not sitting there waiting for an hour trying to figure something out.
I'll give you a great example of what you just talked about too. So driver calls me, and I don't remember how long ago it was, maybe it was a month or two ago, but at any rate, he says to me, you know, Dave, I want to start out by telling you that everyone treated me with the utmost respect, and let me explain what happened to you. I call in, I talk to Bob, and Bob says, hey, I can't help you, but I really want to help you. I'm going to get you to Bill. And then Bill says, I can't really help you, but I'm going to get you to the next guy. And he said he talked to 4, 5, 6 people. And I said, okay, love the fact everybody was really nice to you.
Yep.
Despise the fact you had to talk to 6 different people to get the answer. So again, we vetted through that process, and we went back to, okay, at what point should somebody have been able to get that answer? Right? And we reverse engineered it to where ultimately those things don't happen again. It was great that we were nice to everybody, but we want one-stop shop, and that really resides with your fleet manager. I don't want fleet manager to pass you over to settlements, and then settlements say the problem's the fleet manager. At the end of the day, if settlements isn't right, 99% of the time it's because something didn't get input correctly, all right? So settlements can't fix that because they're not the one that inputs the layover or the additional pay or
detention
time and all that. So today at the DART Network, we want you to understand your fleet manager is your one-stop shop, and they'll help you get through this process. And that's going to be the way it is going forward. So, and I mean, that's no different, you or I. If I call Home Depot, I don't want to go to 14 different people before I get to the plumbing department. So why would we want that to happen here? We don't.
Absolutely. Well, Dave, thanks for being here again.
Yep.
Hopefully we can do this again in the future. You know, we'll circle back.
Yep.
See, I'm not the only one that can circle back.
Right. And I can't wait to see next week's chat with Pat. I'll watch it, and I want to see what their feedback is on how this meeting goes. And we'll do this every quarter. And every quarter we'll make sure that the results that we expect are actually executed upon. So thank you very much for having me on today.
You bet. All right, everybody. Till next week, don't forget, don't be so busy building a life you forget to have a life. Stop, smell the roses, enjoy that cup of coffee. Catch you next week.